Hi, Facebook. Amanda here. Happy Feeling Fab Friday. I'm having a really awful hair day, so top knot don't care. And I'm coming to you live today because I want to share with you a little bit about thyroid and minerals. So this is super important. If you don't understand it, it can really make a difference for you. So a lot of people come to me with thyroid issues. They want to know about it. They've been told they're hypothyroid or hyperthyroid, and it's kind of one of those areas that really trips people up a little bit. And so I want to talk a little bit about hair mineral testing and the the calcium and potassium ratio. And this is a ratio that I can see when I get your hair mineral analysis test back that shows me what is going on with your thyroid. Okay, so it's going to show me a number, either if it's greater than 4.2, that means you have slower thyroid, and the higher the number that it is, the slower the thyroid is. And if it's less than 4.2, it means faster thyroid activity. So this is really important because it shows me how the thyroid hormones are being expressed in the cell. Okay, so this is where this is a little bit different than blood work. Both blood work and hair mineral analysis can give us information of the whole picture, but this is where blood work can go a little wrong because it can show what's happening at the blood level, but it's not going to show what's happening at that cellular level, and that's what really matters. So the hair mineral analysis ratio is kind of going to show us what's happening at the very end of the thyroid issue. So the blood may show us an indicator later on, but it might not show the right thing that's happening right now. So like I said, if you have that really high number going on, you're going to feel very hypothyroid, which is going to be things like weight gain, cold hands, cold feet, dry hair, constipation, not really being able to sweat much, having fatigue, and you're really going to feel those symptoms. And even if your blood work doesn't say those hypothyroid numbers, if we see this level going on in the hair, we know that you're going to be feeling some of these symptoms. So what is driving this? Okay, it can be driven by hidden copper toxicity. So this is one of the 12 main markers that I look for copper toxicity, which doesn't always show blanket straight up on the hair mineral analysis. We need to kind of do a little bit of detective work and see if there's some copper toxicity going on. It can also be driven by iodine deficiency, which really causes that calcium to build up in the soft tissue, allowing that calcium-potassium ratio to be off and slowing everything down. Calcium, again, like I've said before, it's like the brakes of the body. It's going to slow down your metabolism of your thyroid. It's going to slow down your joints and your body and your movement. So we really want calcium to be in the bone, and a lot of times things can drive it out of the bone and have it free flow and allow it to build up. So copper toxicity can do that. Iodine deficiency can do that. And you got to remember, thyroid hormones are made out of iodine. So T4 is just 4 molecules of iodine. T3 is like 3 molecules of iodine. So like I said, sometimes this is going to be different in the blood work than it is on the hair mineral analysis. You could have hyper looking in the blood and hypo in the hair. And this mismatch can be due to cellular permeability. Okay, so again, it getting into the cell. So hormones in the blood are great, but if they can't get into the cell, they're not going to have any effect. So it's more important to see what's happening in the hair. Like I said, this is the end result of what is happening in thyroid. Now, the hypo in the hair and hyper in the blood can also be an early warning system that hypo in the blood is coming. This is another reason why hair mineral analysis is boss. Okay, it gives us so much information on what's going on in your body. So yes, thyroid supplements can affect this ratio and whether or not it's getting in the cell. So it's really important that we really see these levels before you just start popping those glandulars and all those thyroid supplements. Also, slow oxidizers typically are going to have that high calcium-potassium ratio. So this all is due to those main macro minerals, are the first thing that I focus on, which is your calcium levels, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. So on the other side, if you have excess thyroid activity, the lower that ratio number is, again, the faster the thyroid hormone activity is going to be. And this is typical of my fast oxidizers. And again, it may not always correlate with the blood tests. And that mismatch, again, will be due to decreased cellular permeability. So if it's low in the blood but high in the hair, this person is going to have a terrible reaction to any sort of thyroid meds, okay? This is a recipe for disaster for them. It's going to give them anxiety like crazy. And again, thyroid supplementation can affect this. So if it looks hypo in the blood but it's hyper in the hair, and you start giving this person thyroid meds, it's not really giving them what they need, and they're going to feel crazy. They're going to feel that anxiety being driven up. So all the macro minerals are really what affect these ratios, so we need to address those first and foremost. Your mineral protocol is the first line of defense for this, okay? So getting proper testing and looking at what's going on with those macro minerals and really addressing your specific issue. I am more and more than ever more passionate about individualized testing and individual supplementation. If anybody's telling you just to take blanket supplements without knowing what's going on in your minerals, they don't really understand how much it can be affected and how one thing that you're taking can really throw things out of balance. So a lot of these supplements you're taking, you'll find there's levels of calcium in there. If you have a calcium shell, or your calcium is out of the bone and in the soft tissue, and you've got copper toxicity or iodine issues causing you to store that calcium in the soft tissue, you've got a problem taking supplements that have calcium in it, right? So we really need to see what's going on at the hair cellular level before we start taking supplements. It's the same thing with your magnesium. It's the same thing with your sodium and your potassium. So we have to look at minerals as a whole. So if you're not at the point where you're ready to do testing, really one of the most basic things you can do is drink clean water. Okay, this is like the first step, even before you buy any of the supplements that I would suggest for your mineral protocol, is clean water, because it's really going to do no good if we're doing all this work to change your minerals, but you're drinking really crappy water. 65% of your body is water, and if 65% of you is full of crap and toxicity, we're not going to get anywhere. Okay, so a really good water filtration system, I sound like a broken record, is really the most important thing. If you can't invest in a water filtration system, you need to be drinking bottled spring water. I have a post on my Instagram that has a picture of water on it that lists all the different water bottle types that are going to be good, full of minerals that aren't dead and not toxic, okay? Yes, I know they're in plastic bottles, but really minerals and getting that clean water is more important for that issue, okay? If you can afford a water filtration system, awesome. Look into Pure Effects, look into Berkey, those type of things. Aquasana for your shower, or Pure Effects for your shower, awesome. But if that's not the point you're at, you're moving, or you don't want to invest in that right now, or you can't, then start drinking clean water from other sources. You can also go to findaspring.com. It'll tell you where you have springs in your area that you can get fresh spring water. So that's the first thing, and first and foremost. So the other thing we need to do, again, is address those macro minerals, and this can only be done through testing of me really seeing what's going on with your levels and really address everything else. You need to understand that this is the basis for everything else. Yes, the gut also comes into play here, but if you've got low levels of certain minerals, this also affects your gut's ability to fight off infection, whether or not you have stomach acid or not. So we need to do gut support while we do mineral work. I typically do both at once, but the hair mineral analysis is the basic first test that everybody who works with me needs to take so we can see what's going on. It's going to give us information about your hormones. It's going to give me information about your thyroid, like I just said. It's going to give me information about your adrenals. It's going to give me so much information about your personality and your emotions and everything, and why what's going on is going on. So I have a really special offer today. I typically do not do this. Most people have to work with me for 6 months minimum before I take them on as a client, just because I need to address everything at the whole. And in my 6-month program, we address emotions, we do inner work, we do this mineral work, we do other testing, we do it all. And for some people, they're not ready to jump into that just yet, either financially or, commitment wise. And typically I don't like just doing one-off consults with people for testing, because I send them on their way and they don't get the results because they're not working with me in a container for 6 months. But what I want to do to celebrate hair mineral analysis and the direction that my practice is going, I have 3 hair mineral tests left in my kit box right now. The rest of them have already been spoken for until I get a new batch in. So I've decided for these 3, I want to offer a one-off testing offer option for you to get your hair mineral analysis test done with me and do a consult on the testing and for me to help give you a protocol. So if this is of interest of you, this comes around, I've never done this before, just offer these one-off testing online to my entire audience. So I would really encourage you to jump on this. The price is $375, and this includes your test and your consult with me. So I have 3 spots for this. If you are interested in everything I've been posting lately about the minerals, understanding how it works, and you want to do a hair mineral analysis test with me to really get you some results, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. Don't miss it. It's not going to be around for long. Once those 3 tests are gone, they're gone. So I'm going to copy and paste the link for this, and I'm going to put it in my in the chat here on my Facebook page, and I'm going to put it in my profile bio on Instagram, so you can click on it and purchase it. Again, there's only 3 of these. Once they're gone, they're gone. So I hope you have a feeling fabulous Friday. I hope you understand a little bit more about the thyroid, why minerals affect it, and what we can learn from looking at a hair minerals analysis test and addressing your thyroid levels instead of just pumping yourself full of supplements that you have no idea what they're doing or not doing. And I really am hopeful that this is giving you information. If you don't have thyroid issues, you should still get your minerals checked. There's tons of other information we need to know. And again, we can't do this heavy metal detox or address the copper toxicity or any of that until we get your macro minerals up to the right levels. Okay, we have to get those levels up so that you have enough energy to do the work that we need to do. And that's step number 1. Rachel says, where do you get it tested? Do they wash the hair at the lab? Yes. So I use TMI. Too much information. I use a lab that is one of the most original labs, Rachel, from the beginning. And they do not wash the hair. They're not reliable if they wash the hair. I don't trust any other hair mineral testing lab. This is like the original one, and it's the company that I use. So you want to make sure if you're watching this and you're just thinking of doing hair mineral analysis on your own, again, it's only as good as the lab that does it and the practitioner that's reading it. Hair mineral analysis can be very confusing, and it cannot be read as is, meaning if you look at it and you see your zinc levels are high or your lithium levels are high or whatever, it doesn't mean that that's actually the case. It could mean you're losing it, and we have clues that we need to see everything else in the hair mineral test. So that's the company that I use. It's the best, and I will make sure that I post that there. So it's really important which lab you work with, and not all labs are created equal. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, let me know. But I can guarantee you, you won't regret doing this testing. I will see you soon, and I hope 3 of you jump on this deal. Have a Feeling Fab Friday. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.